Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of Majungasaurus. In this one we're going to be adding plants and props and things, doing a bit more terrain as well. I'll put up an image on the screen right now of all the plants and props I used, so pause the video, take a screenshot and hope that helps you. I hope you enjoy and we'll get on with the video. Now we can add these flowers, and usually flowers aren't a thing I add, but Majungasaurus lived all the way right to the very end of the Cretaceous. So flowers were emerging. They were very small like this, so you don't have to use these if you found another one you like. I quite like them. Just keep it simple. Don't do too complex flowers because they hadn't existed yet. And now I quite like putting these sort of, just around the trees. I think it ends up looking quite nice. It's probably a bit too many. Yeah, you don't want to use too much. They're only just emerging. And it just gives a really nice little detail. You won't see from far away, but then as soon as you come in, you go, oh look, some nice little flowers there. See, that's the flowers added in. They're quite nice. If any of you have played Path of Titans, this really reminds me of those flowers you have to pick up. Okay, now this is the main one. These ferns. You're gonna want to put these everywhere to cover all this dirt up. You want absolutely everywhere. And this is going to take a while. So I'm going to play some music and I'll see you all when I've finished. Alright, that took quite a while, but got them all in. But I think it ends up looking a lot better. We've still got more to add as well, but it looks a lot more interesting, I think. And we've still got loads of these to add, so let's add these little guys. And you want to put these just in some of the gaps. You don't have to put a lot of them. Okay, so that's those being placed, and it's kind of hard to see until you go into this mode, and then you can see them all. And it just adds a little bit of change, which is always good. And I think the next one we're going to do are these. And these are going to add some height, and that would be a lot more noticeable, but Okay, all those placed in now. They look nice. The next one are these. Now, these, I don't think any of these really existed back 66 million years ago. It's kind of a replacement for a monkey tree. They don't really have that in the game. Alright, that's those added. They look quite cool. Alright, now you got these big ferns. Now, these are pretty big. And you want to put these just where there's like a big gap that you think, you know what, that needs to be filled. You don't need to put very many of these in. You know, just when you see a gap that you think, Okay, that's the ferns put in, and see it's really filling up now. It looks very dense. There's a lot of different things going on. Start adding some falling down trees here. So these are for these trees, so I want to do it in this area. Now for these ones, you want to just put these in the ferns. You do got to be careful though, like that one. That one went above the ferns. We don't want that. And this last log here, we're going to put by this tree, because I think it kind of looks like a branch from it. Sort of imagine that it's a branch that's fallen down. It can also go here as well. It's like some driftwood. That's this section done, and that's the main kind of biome. I think it looks pretty cool. There's lots of different types of trees and things. Little flowers. Some kind of dried up patches. Okay, so to start with this, we're going to need to get our beach. Just rung it on the edge. Gonna get our groundwater. Alright, we're then going to get some of these small little rocks from before and just line up some of this riverbed here with those rocks. Do the same with this one. Let's also add couple bits of driftwood that have been drifted up. And deposited along the edge. Let's also get some different types as well. Get a couple more of these as well in there. Okay, now we're going to use these reeds here. Now, these were not the same ones that were around back then, but they're the closest that we got, so they're going to have to make do. Just make sure there's no little gaps in any of these. Now you see, I would like these to be right on the edge, but for some reason it doesn't allow me to put the wetland there. Yeah, so something cool to note. Even though these are objects, it doesn't restrict dinosaur movement. So you can see these rocks restrict movement, sort of the trees, but these do not. So you don't have to worry about that. Alright, so if I just pull up this image here, these are some nice hills. Now were these here back then? I don't know, maybe not, but I thought they looked pretty cool. And I'm trying to recreate something like that for this bit, because it just looks a bit too flat and boring at the moment. Just try and add some hills. Now, like, was this right next to the coast? Maybe, but yeah, I think it looks cool. Let's just raise the terrain. Okay. It's just got like a rough kind of hill now. I'll edit it a bit later. I think they're a bit too steep at the moment. Now as for the image, as for these kind of little cutouts, I just don't think we're going to be able to do that really. I can give it a go, but... So lower you want intensity to max. Well, you might be able to do something like that. Let's go back a bit. What about a slope? Okay. Maybe intensity a bit less. So what if I do full out max? Or full off? Okay. Okay, so you can kind of create these kind of things. Okay, but I think they're a bit too wide, so let me just go back. Do they fall off really small? Okay. And then, let's see, for the texturing, what could we do? So let's just make most of it cliff for now. And then, well, sand at the top. I really hate this sand texture. I mean, it's not sand, it's grass. Like, it's not sand at all. I quite like that. It would blend in fairly well to the rest of the area. Yeah. I mean, and these you get these really nice different contrasts of colour, but we can't really get that in this game. I think it's quite interesting though. I kind of like it. Now I'll just do these to all of these. Actually, before I make this, I kind of want to do something here. So I got one food, one drink. And we could do a large hotel, but gonna need some more shopping. Yeah. How do I fill in that space? Doing the same scenery. Yeah, maybe one of these. And then what we could do is, if we just pop it over to night, we could add some lights. Yeah, look at that. They get lit up at night. Let's probably do something similar for these. This guy over here, shouldn't I? Yeah, like that. Okay, so now I've got to do everything that I did over here and do it all here. So it's going to take quite a while. But yeah, I'll do probably a little montage of me doing everything. And I'll see you when it's all finished. Alright, that's all that done then. It took quite a while, but it looks cool there, doesn't it? Little goat. Where's some dinosaurs we can see here? There we go. Yeah. See, it looks so much more detailed, I think, if you just take your time. You know, obviously, I'm not sure if I'll do this for every single enclosure, because it does take quite a while. But I don't really mind the time it takes. I'm not sure how my computer can run it fine, it seems. I'm a bit worried though if I do this for everything, you know. So there's 12,600 objects. Wow, that's quite a lot, isn't it? Yeah, but if you were doing this, you know, for your own enclosure, you'd have a much smaller one. This is a huge enclosure. So don't be intimidated. You know, if you got a normal size enclosure, definitely give this a go. I think one thing I want to kind of fix these rocks because they look a bit. Yeah, I think if we just rotate some of these. Yeah, because they look a bit, you know, like a repeating. I might kind of add some more to these rocks and then I think we're pretty much finished, I think. And that's it, maybe touch up some of these a little bit more. There's some floating things here. Okay, so I sort of just added some more rocks, rotated some around. I think that looks pretty cool. Okay, so before I play the final shots, I wanted to say if If you're not subscribed already, I'm trying to reach 1,000. So if you like the videos, then consider subscribing. It goes a long way. Also, if you go to my post page on my YouTube, you can vote for the next dinosaur. So make sure to check that out and vote for the next one. Alright, see ya.